Star Trek Insurrection is the ninth Star Trek movie and the third Next Generation movie, and it's one that isn't liked a lot by fans. I've only ever seen it the once. Has my opinion changed on my initial viewing, not liking it? Let's get into this review. The answer is no. My thoughts and opinions are still the same. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all next time. That was a joke. My actual thoughts have changed on this movie. I sat down and watched it. This isn't coming out until July. I'm recording this on the 28th of May, just because I felt like getting a start on these reviews early, just so I can have some time off, and not having to worry about content or what have you for the month of June. Um, anyway, yeah, my thoughts have definitely changed on Insurrection. It's not a bad movie. It's not a bad Trek movie either. For the hour and 40 minutes that it was, I enjoyed it from beginning to end, especially watching it on the Blu-ray version because I think the Blu-ray version looks really, really good. Some of the CGI shots don't translate well when upscaling them, but other than that, it's a good movie. But it's a better episode of TNG. That's the one thing that I walked away thinking at the when the movie wrapped up. As it was wrapping up, I was like, "Wow, this is just a prolonged TNG episode. Like it doesn't feel like a movie in a sense. I know I said it's a good movie, and it is. It's a decent enough sci-fi action film, but a better Next Generation episode. It feels like that's the feelings that I get while watching it. So what is this movie about? Well, we are now in the height of the Dominion War, with more planets that are discovering the warp drive or just out and about are being fast tracked through joining the United Federation of Planets. Why? Because the Dominion War and the war against the Borg are taking its toll on the Federation. Mainly the Dominion War, because I believe at this point, when the movie came out, we're nearing the tail end of the Dominion War. So I don't necessarily know if I think the Romulan yeah thinking about first contact, yeah, so the Romulans probably have joined the war efforts at this point in the Dominion War, so we're probably in around season 5 or season 6, potentially season 7 of Deep Space Nine, because this movie came out 25 years ago in the US. I'm several months older than this movie, to be precise. This movie came out on December 28th, 1998 in the US. I was born March 10th, 1998. So, anyway, yeah, so whilst all this is happening, there's the Federation and these race known as the Soren are essentially watching over this race called the Baku, and Data, who was assigned there, has gone rogue. He's revealing them to the Baku, by attacking other Starfleet officers and taking off his helmet because they're all cloaked, and even the base of operations where the Federation and the Soren are is cloaked, and Data reveals that to the Baku. And so the admiral who's overseeing this contacts Picard to relay over the schematics for Data. They keep referring to him as the android, which I guess is still common for the time period, even though uh, Commander Data is a decorated Starfleet officer. A lot of people would still just look at him as a piece of machinery. And so eventually the Enterprise E makes their way to the planet where the Baku is on. They subdue Data, they fix him up, and they beam down, get the survivors, and that's when they revive Data, ask him what he found, that caused him to act that way. And so they beam back down to the planet. Because Data says he was following some kids. And so they go back to this lakefront, and it turns out that there's a hollow ship there that's cloaked, that has a almost complete hollow recreation of the structures that the Baku are staying in, because it turns out this planet has some rejuvenation features on it. You stay on this planet, a lot of stuff is going to happen. Old scars healing up. Jordy, for example, he gains proper sight in his eyes for the very first time. That's never happened for him. He was born blind. He had the visor, and then he had the ocular implants, and because of his short time on this planet, he can see again. Um, and then, of course, it also sparks Worf going through Klingon puberty. We see him get a spot, and it's a very funny interaction between Worf, Data, and Picard. Saying, "Oh, it's not that noticeable," and then Riker and Troy, their whole relationship rekindles in this movie. They were they had previous relationships and that, but it was in this movie, just from being in that planet, that reignited the flame that allowed them to go at it again. It starts because Troy massages Riker's neck in a way that gets him a stiffy. Um, he shaves his beard for her, which it's been a while since we've seen beardless Riker. I think season 2 of Next Gen might have been the last time we seen him without a beard. I could be wrong. It's been a while since I've seen any season 2 episode of TNG, so I probably am wrong. I think he might have had a beard in season 2. Um, Someone can correct me in the comments. Uh, and then of course, all these other stuff. And so once they realize that the Sorn and this admiral plans to move the 600 occupants off this world, and to basically use this planet for their own gain type of way for the Federation, that doesn't sit well with the captain. And so they try their best to save the Baku, and they do. It also turns out that the Sorn and the Baku are the same thing. They're the same species, essentially. And we learn that it was just these two kids that tried to take over the village. Then they were booted off planet, and then they came back with full force to try and take over the planet again. And yeah, the movie ends. So as I said, it would be an excellent Next Generation episode and a decent movie, good to decent movie. I enjoyed my time watching Insurrection. Especially seeing the Enterprise E fly around a bit more. Because in First Contact, her debut, and my personal favorite Star Trek movie and the best Star Trek movie ever made. AJ can fight me on that, but he knows he's going to lose. It's nice to see it, being able to fly around more, engage in combat that we only saw glimpses of in First Contact, and we'll see even more in the next one, which is Nemesis. So yeah, I genuinely like Nemesis Insurrection, and I, which was odd because I was really not looking forward to watching this movie, because I was like, again, under the mindset this is a bad movie. It's an odd number trek. Actually, no, it's an even number. No, it's an odd number trek. Um, and those are not good Trek movies. When in all reality, it's not that bad. Like I said, as a Next Generation episode, if it appeared somewhere between season 1 and season 7, would have been an excellent episode. It would have been hailed as one of the best. But because it's a movie, and because at this point, 1998, a lot of people are starting to feel the Trek fatigue. At this point, we had, at this point when this movie came out, we still had the Next Generation movies. We were just about to wrap up Deep Space Nine. And then we also had Voyager airing alongside this. So there's a lot of Trek out at that time. And they just got burnt out. But I honestly think Insurrection is not that bad. And that is my review of it. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed.